handy. Just so you guys know, usually the way this class is kind of formatted is I take open questions at the beginning, and then we kind of delve into an inbound marketing topic as time allows at the end. Or if nobody has questions, we'll kind of pick it up. We did have a really good one today from Andy, who said, how can you create a testimonial email that would allow for a past or recent buyer? Would it require a specific landing page? So to make sure I understand what you're wanting to do, you're wanting to kind of have an email campaign going to somebody that you've essentially gotten to the closing table, some form or fashion, whether a buyer, seller, and you're wanting to follow up with them for a testimonial. Is that correct? Okay, cool. This is really great because you guys should be collecting testimonials. I have kind of two avenues I'm going to go on to answer this question. I'm going to show you an on-site, and then I'm going to show you probably a little bit better way of encouraging that on a off-site review site like Zillow or Google Pages or on your Facebook page for reviews. The reason why I kind of recommend getting those or getting them to leave you those on those third-party sites is those sites reviews get weighted a little bit differently than having that information directly on your site. With some of our premium themes, we do have the snippet. Let me pull up one of them so you can see what I'm talking about. Or we've got this little blurb here for a testimonial. That's really good to have them on your site, but usually where we recommend is if we can grab them from like Zillow and we'll grab like a sound bite, that's what we'll do. And then whenever somebody needs to leave you, you could put, instead of loan process, you could do, you know, give us some feedback or read more, and then it would take to that page. Just because off-site testimonials work a lot better just because you don't have direct control over that. But kind of backtracking, the big key thing here is how to create a form that somebody can leave you if they don't really want to give that information on one of those other sites. Okay. First thing we're going to do is sign in to the back end. So it'll be whatever your domain name is, inbound marketing. And this session is being recorded, so you'll be able to go back on our site and watch it later if you need to. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create the form on your site that somebody can fill out. And to do that, we're going to go to this Capture tab that's here. We're going to go to Website Lead Form. Where this is going to take us is actually one of the places I plan to really talk about today. So excellent question and timing as well. This area is where you can control what pages are, what forms are on what pages, as well as which groups for marketing that they fall into. This is how you can set it without having to go into each individual page and set that up. However, you are able to do that on a page level when you're editing the page as well. So both places. Okay. So to create the form, we're going to go over to Form Manager. And I actually already have one created. If you're creating it from scratch, you would just click on Create a Form. I'm going to edit this testimonials just so that way you can kind of see how it is. You're going to give it a name, and let me pull up one of our pages that has this on there so that way you can kind of see where these are going to correspond. This is what happens when you've got way too many things stored in your browser's memory that all start very similarly. Okay, so, whoops, what did I do? Oh, it's a Windows thing. Okay, so let's go to one that I know has 9 steps to owning. Okay, so this one does have a lead capture. So this is the custom lead capture form. So I'm going to pop this over. Now these names and things aren't going to match up exactly, but because this is a different form. But for testimonials, you can call it testimonials, or since you're specifically asking for a review, maybe leave us a review. You know, would work. Action words are always good to include in titles of things, just because semantically and just psychologically, it kind of has that. For me, it gives it kind of like a little extra jump of, ooh, action, versus something that's just kind of testimonial. So that's nice. But leave us a testimonial that kind of, encourages the action. Give it a short description, which is what this section here is. So whatever you put in this will show up right here. And you can, if you want to reuse this text in yours, there you go. You can grab and use it. Come up with your own. Just something to really set the expectation of what, so the customer understands what's going to happen when they fill out this form, and maybe why they should fill out the form. If you've got a specific person, so if let's say you guys have an office manager that handles all of the testimonials and things like that, what you can do is have it set to where it goes specifically to that person. If you're a one-person shop, you don't need to worry about this box. It's only if a lead capture form needs to route to a specific person or a specific email address. By default, it's going to go to whatever the admin address is on the account, which is why if you're a one-person shop, you don't really need to worry about this. Okay, so this contact information is, and actually this form really isn't set up to be the best to ask for a review, so we're actually going to just make this even better than it is right now. Contact information corresponds to what shows up here. So, trying to think of a good, do you guys have any ideas of what might be something good to put here as far as a title? We'll think on that for a second, because the next thing we're actually going to want to do is we'll do comments. Actually, I want to see, I'm going to use kind of a tried and true pro tip. I'm going to go look at Yelp real quick just to see how they, I'm going to do Zillow. No, Yelp's going to be easier. Sorry. And one of the reasons why you might consider Yelp as well is it's actually built into Apple's Siri search system. Siri's going to search Yelp before it hits Google. So that's one reason to consider Yelp, even if you're not sure about it. Okay. You have to log in to leave a review. So just so we can see what they're calling it, because we're going to want to kind of go with something similar just so the convention stays the same with what people expect. let's see. Okay, so it's start your review is what they do, and they don't really have anything. So that really wasn't helpful. All right. So what we can do instead is, review is fine. And since we want to give them a wider box rather than just, sorry, you can't see if I point at my screen, rather than just this one line here, if I click review, or if I click this, if it will let me, why is it not doing what I want it to? Oh, maybe because that was a phone field. That's why. Okay. I'll do other. Yeah, some of these are kind of locked in. But if I click that, you'll see that they get a lot more area to put in there. To delete a field, if you add one that you don't need, you just click this little button. If you need to rearrange them, so for example, we'll put this one, we'll move that one to the top, and then they can put their name and email underneath, just so that way you've got the information and they can put it there. With lead capture, and this may be another reason why doing this off-site is probably a better option than collecting these on-site. But just generally for lead capture forms, the minimum amount of information required for them is the name and email. When you're dealing with testimonials, it's not so much leads, it's more getting that review, which is why this probably isn't necessarily the best setup, but this is how, if you do want to have something on your site where somebody can go, if they're not on social media or they don't want to sign up for yet another site, this still gives them another option to give you a review. So we've got this set up. Still want to figure out something better than contact information. Actually, here we go. We'll just do this. Leave us a review for that section, and we'll just do that. We'll just leave the title the way it was. So now that we've done that, we're going to hit save, and then we're going to be taken back here. Let's add that to one of our pages. Actually, no. We're going to do something else. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is create a page to have that form be on. Because once we get the page, that's the link that we'll include in the email. If you're linking to one of your off-site profiles, like your Facebook page, Yelp, Google business page, or Zillow, those are usually probably the 4 big ones that I would focus on. If you're thinking about where to start collecting those reviews, Zillow, Facebook, and Google, probably the bigger ones. Zillow just because it's very industry specific, and I mean, the truth of the matter is a lot of people start their searches there, then connect with an agent, and one of the ways they decide which agent they want to connect with is going to be the reviews that they're going to find on that site. So you have to play where the people are, or where your target audience is. So that's something to consider. I know, yeah, I'm not going to get on that soapbox. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're creating a page. And this works for creating any sort of page, not just one that's going to have the lead capture form. So in a way, yeah, we are creating a landing page for this. So brings you to your content area. You're going to click on custom. I'm going to see if we accidentally already have a page. Yes, we do. So, Okay. Well, I'll show you how I created this page here. So this is one where we've got a bunch of different testimonials. This is one that I actually did some HTML for and design, but you can do something very, very similar. We just don't have the lead capture page enabled on that one. So let's just start over with a new one just so you can see how you would be able to do it. I believe is reviews the one. Let me see if reviews is the one that I did that doesn't have the special coding on it. And that's a lead capture kind of pop-up. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so what I did, and I can kind of change the way the wording is there. So let's take a look at the reviews, because that's where you'll be able to see. All I did was put in what the person, what the person said or whatever the soundbite was, and then and I just used a text generator to fill that out. And then you just put in the rest of the information. This, let me see where that's linking to. Yeah, this was me pretending that we have, showing you how to link to an outside profile. So you would you go to your profile on whatever website it was. In this case, the example was Zillow, and I just picked somebody, at random. And because we're not really agents and can't create that type of profile on Zillow, unfortunately. But what we did is linked back over to where somebody could then click and leave a review rather than turning on a lead capture. But I am going to turn on the lead capture. So if you're creating your testimonials page, in the other page options, that's where you can click on lead capture. We're going to click to customize that. And we want to use our testimonials form. And yeah, let's configure an automatic reply. Why not? It is going, you don't have to put in the salutation because it's going to add that for you automatically. You can kind of formulate it however you want. I'm just kind of putting something in here. I would probably make it a little bit more, for lack of a better term, warm and fuzzy as far as, not, thanks for your feedback, and keeping kind of robotic, but something more, it's like, thanks for your feedback. It means a lot to us, and however you want to kind of do it from there. And you can have it built in, and maybe kind of tied into, appreciate you taking the time to leave us a review would be another kind of segue into it. Your feedback means a lot to us. Please don't hesitate to refer friends and family, or, because you have that last kind of ask of you thank them for the action, and then you're asking them to just keep you in mind if they hear of anybody else that's needing a referral. That's the other thing about testimonials is by having them on not necessarily your site, but these other third-party sites, it is, those are effectively referrals that the whole world can see, as opposed to just whoever's within the network, or in that email chain if somebody sends you a referral. So that's another reason to cultivate them, and they do count towards your SEO, or search engine optimization for your page ranks. So you just check these boxes as to what you want on there. Since this is an email, I do recommend having the web address, office, and phone. You don't necessarily need to put the email on there unless your primary email is being listed differently, just because this is already going to be an email response. So we'll save and activate that. The marketing group that this is going to go into, don't know why we have this many groups. I don't believe we have one set up for testimonials. So for now, I'm just going to call this, we'll just do Excite leads. But if you were going to be setting this up, I would suggest creating a group for that. All right. And then all you do is hit save and close, or I'm going to hit save and continue just because I'm going to show you how you can build out this page. I mean, this works just like a word processor, so you can, insert pictures, insert links. That's how we got these set up. If you are setting it up to where it links to an external site, I'll bring this up, you do want to have it set, oops, this one isn't set correctly. You do want to have it set to a new window. The reason why is if you're linking to a site like Zillow, for example, people may get caught back up in their home search, and then when they click to close the window, your site's gone and they don't really know necessarily who it was that they had found their website and were connecting with. By setting it up in a new window, what it does is your site is still going to be hanging around behind it. Actually, I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave that one as is because I think I may have done that to illustrate that point. But we're going to make sure that, yeah, this one's set to open a new window. So let's save that. We're going to go back to our review page, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, refreshing the page. Okay, so there you go. They can type away and then put the name and email address. And then so this one, you'll notice it's opening in a new tab. It may open in a new window, just depending on, yeah, because here with Zillow, it's write a review. So you could do, describe in detail your experience with, as another option for leave us a review in that lead capture form. But I mean, Zillow makes it incredibly easy to just fill it out. So that's that. Versus if they clicked here, you'll see how this is opening the same thing. And if they did this and then they did a home search and went through a couple different pages, you'd have to go back however far in the search results, or not the search results, but in the browser history just to get back to where your site is. So if you're not linking to a page on your site, new window. We do have that. So okay. Now that we've got the page set up where we're going to be directing people to, we're going to want to start a campaign. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to set up that contact group for testimonials. I clicked on contacts. If you're in this section, it's going to be manage leads. Either way, you're going to wind up right here. Tools, manage marketing groups. Marketing groups are very, very useful because you want to set up targeted groups so that way whenever you set up your campaigns, people are going to be getting what's relevant to them instead of just being lumped in a generic, buyer or seller category, because depending on the type of buyer or seller that they are, their needs could be very, very different. First-time buyer versus somebody that's, on their third or fourth house just looking to downsize. You're going to want to market to them differently. So that's why you'll see that we've got a couple of different groups here. And this one, we're going to do testimonials. Save our new group. Let's see, we've got that there. And then I'm going to add a couple people to it. And this area is also kind of your client management as well. Marketing. This tells you what campaigns they're in, and set to get. Oh, there we go, groups types, that's what I was looking for. So if they're a buyer, you won't have as many of these as we do. This is an older site that we use for training and things, so it does have a little bit extra. But you just check the box for what you're wanting to add them in. You know, maybe it was a first-time home buyer that you got at a open house. So you can be able to track that, hey, open houses are getting you a lot of really good buyer leads, or open houses are getting you a lot of really good seller leads, and then that can help you figure out where to target your marketing efforts as well. It's all about analyzing, getting data, and figuring out where you can double down to increase your return on the time investment that you make in your business. All right, so we're going to save that. You can just go through and add any if you need to. So now we're going to do the email campaigns. So again, we're under the Nurture tab, Email Campaign Manager. It's going to drop us right into this Accelerate section. So if you're already in the back end, you just click on this. You can kind of tell because it's got this little email being sent here. And I think I saw that I already had a testimony. Aha. So let's take a look at that campaign. So we're going to actually click to, if you're doing create a new campaign, you'll click this and it'll walk you through the steps, which we'll see here with the testimonials campaign once we get into it. So it'll drop you, you'll give your campaign a name, hit continue, then it will bring you here. We're wanting to only send this to not necessarily the buyers, but if you've got a specific group, so anybody that might have filled out that form, this is the group you would want to be in. Sorry, actually backtracking. Testimonials will be somebody that's already given you one, so you probably don't actually want to market to them to give you another one, but it'll give you a way to group that. So it's still worth it to set up a testimonials. I just wouldn't add the testimonials marketing group to any sort of campaign. So we'll use buyers, and maybe I'm going to really target people selling their homes for the first time as well. Oops. So do groups, and you can just double click to add or take away. We're going to do first-time home buyers and first-time sellers. Now, you'll notice that I don't have anybody in this group. That's perfectly okay, because once somebody does get added to that group, you'll be able to kind of trigger those drip campaigns. We'll go ahead and add either testimonials or something like that as well, just so we get a couple more groups in there. You can add contacts individually. You can also add specific types of contacts. So if it was, you know, a buyer lead, a seller lead, or anything like that, that's how you set up just generally campaigns. So continuing with this testimonial campaign. So we're going to click to edit that, see if it, sorry, it's taking a second to load our ad library just because it's so big. Normally it doesn't take this long to do that though. Okay, while we're waiting on this, I'm going to show you, we're going to go back to our reviews page just to kind of show you with the Zillow or Trulia. Whenever you create these links, and this is when we're able to get in and edit our email making the ask for a testimonial, and it is best to start setting that expectation up at the beginning of the transaction. Let them know, we always appreciate feedback. Please feel free to review us on our Facebook page, Zillow, Yelp, things like that. There we go. Oh, fudge. It's because I refreshed the page. That's why I did that. Okay. So you actually want these to link both to the same place. Facebook, if you're not sure where somebody can leave you a review, in order to collect reviews on Facebook, you have to set up a Facebook page. When you're logged in, you can find that right there. We've already got one set up. But one of the options here is reviews. So somebody just clicks on that, and you could even link directly to this so somebody doesn't have to find it. If you already have a Facebook page, I would suggest going there, clicking on this reviews tab, and then using this link whenever you're sending things in email. Because search engines do crawl these, and it does optimize, or excuse me, not optimize, but it does go into your search rank. All right, now that we've got this set up, we're going to edit the message. All this warning is telling you to not mess with these red tags here, because that's going to pull in your name, whatever the company information is for there. So you'd say, and you can edit our messages as well. This it'll choose one or the other for your message. So if this was one that was going out to maybe people that were giving you referrals for people selling their house, you could just take out, homeowner, or you can replace it with whatever you want. You can edit any of our templates. There's what it does is it will save whatever you've edited as a copy, and then you'll be able to find that in the library under My Custom Templates, I think it's called. I'll show it to you here in a second. One thing that I would probably do, this is really thanking somebody for filling out that form. So in that way, setting it up with the testimonials group would be good. Instead of using that auto responder, because you can set this up to where they would get that pretty much same day that they sent it out. Now, if we were doing one for My Custom Content is what you'll find it under. And it'll get one of these little icons so you can tell that it's one that you've done. So if we were wanting to do one from scratch, oops, edit this one. What we could do is just write up a message, kind of saying, pleasure doing business with you. Our business thrives on referrals and feedback. please you can kind of add whatever. And if you have one link and you're wanting to maybe focus them on one as opposed to just generally speaking, I know that, I'm trying to think. I really can't type today. Just do my logo. So if you've got a Google business page, and this is one good reason to kind of play in their ecosystem, your business's ratings will show up here. And even though these people are paying for this rank, this this lets them know kind of that these guys have some reviews, but these guys haven't really been cultivating that, at least not on their Google, to where this information can be returned. Scrolling down further, doesn't look like anybody down here has bothered to do that either. A lot of people will ignore the ads. Only about 25% of searchers will use this. The other 75% of people will come to whatever these results are. So, and that kind of brings me up to a point that I've touched on before with whenever somebody's trying to talk to you about, oh, I can get you to the top of Google, I can, do this SEO for you. Most companies that sell SEO services, you're really paying to run your pay-per-click ads. They don't really do anything to help you boost your own content or optimize what's currently on your site to get better organic ranking, what these results. So you're still going to, these people probably have to constantly pay and keep shelling out money to get traffic from here. Again, that's a business decision to weigh, but the SEO companies have no vested interest in helping you optimize to get the content that 75% of the people that search Google are actually clicking on instead of the ads. It's the same thing. If you're buying those ads, you're buying rank placement, which is what these are for Bing and Google. Whether that's pay-per-click or pay-per-impression, I don't remember, but that's usually what SEO companies will manage. You, of course, can manage those yourselves. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just, making sure that you're aware that you do want to put a vested interest in boosting your organic rank, because 25% of searchers usually don't click on the ads. They're going to go to this section that aren't paying to be ranked well. I recommend, it depends on how well your pages are currently ranking. And we do have a couple of videos on our YouTube that do go into that directly. Sorry to back up. Some questions that were asked as I was kind of taking a sidetrack onto ads and SEO placement. Excuse me. Some of the questions I've been asked are, what about buying Google ads or Bing ads? Do I recommend it? Will paid ads help organic ranking? Turn back a little bit. As far as buying Google and Bing ads, yes, you can absolutely do that. It's a good way for either a newer site or a newer brand to gain a little bit of traction at the beginning. So yeah, you can definitely, I'm not trying to discourage you. If it's working for your business, yeah, go ahead and you can do that. But at the same time, the main thing with the inbound marketing philosophy is not limiting the reach of your marketing to the width of your wallet. Pretty much all the strategies that I talk about in this class and in the videos are very much centered around boosting the rank here, where you're not going to be having to continually pay for high ranking or for ad placement within those keywords. Does that make a little bit more sense? So yes, okay, yeah, if you're a new business, I would consider doing that. Just don't solely put all your eggs in that basket. Figure out maybe what's working for you, or what's going to work best. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this. Yeah, I would really recommend probably watching some of the other videos, probably starting with the 5 truths about online marketing from last week that I did that touches on some of those. The big point I was trying to make is anytime you're going to register a domain, you're probably going to get flooded with several emails from people going, hey, I can get your site to the top of Google really fast. And to build that type of rank, you have to have really good content that's relevant to what people are searching for. And when I say people, you don't want to just generalize. You really want to find a specific niche or something to go after to focus on for your rank. And again, that's covered in some of the other videos in our live Q&A playlist on YouTube. But the people that you pay for SEO, you're paying them to run Facebook ads, to run the ad campaigns that you see up here. I keep forgetting you guys can't see it when I point to my screen. Here. So new, yes, I would definitely do that. But I would also focus on cultivating reviews, because I guarantee you that if one of these other people down here had, or if somebody down here had a rank where I had those star rankings, I'm one of those, I don't remember what the study was, but only about 25% of people are clicking on these. The bulk of the people are just scrolling down to the organic results, and the reason why you want to build those is because people put more stock in those that are getting there naturally. Yeah. So to get you started, yeah, there's no harm no foul in it. Here's an example kind of tying into our testimonial thing that we've been talking about today. One of, I don't remember who exactly it was, but I've heard a couple of our agents have done this, and this will work for mortgage too. What they did is they took their AdWords budget for the month, spent that on getting some gift cards, and then advertised on their social media and website, and I think they had a little tagline in their email, so every single email they were sending out also had this too, so that's another good thing to keep in mind, is you can add some of these little call to actions in your signature. I would probably limit it to 1, 2 at most if you do this. But what they did is they bought the gift cards and then advertised, get a chance to win one of these for giving us an honest review on, you could do, and then insert whatever the platform is here, whether that's Google, Facebook, or Zillow. So kind of going to and they saw a lot more boost in their rank on that because people were interacting with them by leaving them reviews. So that's one reason why it is important to cultivate that. And then paid ads help as organic ranking. That might have been true before. Hang on, let me pull this article. I know that it does send some signals that you're a legitimate business to the search engines, which gives a little bit of authority, but it's not a massive increase in rank. Yeah, I'll have to look at the article. Let me pull up something from one of our classes before. Oh, nope, never mind. Can't access it on this machine. But, oh wait, here we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. We kind of break this down. This is an article that's kind of published by a search engine think tank, effectively. Lots of industry professionals go in, they do a lot of case studies, and then they produce this report usually in the fall of every year. And you'll see that about 5% is going to be your social media signals. Your review is going to be 8%. So it's not anything that you should necessarily worry. You do want to worry about, because you don't know who your competition or what your competition's forgetting to do. And to be honest, I actually just recently picked a doctor based on reviews and kind of finding them on Facebook. So I mean, that's how people go about things nowadays, is they look at reviews. I mean, just look at, if you're researching to buy something on Amazon, you're going to look at the reviews just because there's so many options out there. One item, the biggest thing that's on there, whoops, let me close out of that before it starts. Yeah. In the last 10 minutes, the last question I've got for today is, what one item results in the greatest increase to search engine ranking? There's not necessarily one item, just because everything is very much weighted, but where you're going to see, and Jordan, if you'll remind me, email me and remind me to put the slides from our Getting Results class on our help section, and that I need to email Steve when that's up there. That way you can kind of see, because we took this pie chart and translated it into kind of action steps for you. And so I'm just trying to remember which one, because the two biggest are the on-page signals, which your site sends. So making sure that you've got some keywords and phrases organically in there. Naturally speaking, you need to write for humans and focus on what people are going to see first, not anything that's this under the hood stuff that, if I can't see and interact with it on your site, you really probably shouldn't be focusing on it or worrying about it too much. We do have, and again, any of the strategies that we teach is kind of based a little bit on this model. The other, the domain authority really does have something to do with it. So if it's a brand new domain, chances are you're not necessarily going to have a lot of domain authority yet, because that's built over time. But what you can do to help boost rank for a new domain is gather these inbound signals, because you'll see it's these two make up the biggest slices. So this is an on-site thing, so making sure you have remarkable content that answers the questions that people are searching for. And again, when I say people, you do really want to focus on a specific target audience. And I know that one of our classes, I think next Tuesday-ish, we're going to kind of be focusing really big on targeting. And as we're kind of focusing on some of these classes, again, we'll be putting the videos up on YouTube. So if you're not able to make it, just keep checking our YouTube channel. It'll be there. But the other really big thing that you can do to see a good boost is you want to get inbound links to your site. What is an inbound link? It is, this is an inbound link for Zillow because it's kind of giving that authority. So anytime, whenever you have blog articles that you'll see, that's one of the reasons blogging is so important to an inbound marketing strategy, because you're remarketing, you're commenting on things that might be going on in your market, and then you're linking to some other people's articles or some articles that support it. And while, yeah, whenever you link to them, you're kind of giving their domain a little bit of authority. By blogging, they're going to come to your site, and you can kind of, it seems really backwards, but by linking and having that content that people are going to want to comment on or remark about, then they're going to start linking to your site, citing your blog articles. Bloggers like to cite other bloggers. So if you're writing about local events, that's something that's really good, because then you can link to some of the local businesses and they can write on their website or talk about, hey, have you seen this article that, this person did on us? One other really good strategy to build that is write a pro bono article for your local newspaper, and then just ask that they link back to your site. The reason why this is a huge winning situation is, one, it helps establish you as a local area expert. Two, they don't have to pay a staff writer for copy, which makes the editors happy. And three, it's a news site. I closed Google. No, actually I didn't. Just kidding, it's right here. But you'll notice, there's an entire news category. Search engines like up-to-date, relevant content. That's what a news site is. Yes, Twitter followers do help, but again, it's more how engaged are they. So don't purchase followers for any platform ever. It's not a good idea, and the idea behind getting a following on social media is you want quality over quantity. Because if don't have an engaged audience on social media, and that may be how you get some of your leads. They may not go fill out a form on your site. It could be that they send you a message through Facebook or send you a direct message through Twitter or something like that. However they want to connect to you, you have to kind of be in those arenas. I don't remember. I don't know if we necessarily have like a social media as SEO kind of video just yet, but we do have, how to get set up on those. And I know I've got one planned for how to get content to share on social media too, to encourage that engagement. But again, back to the news strategy, I would seriously write a couple of articles for your newspaper. You can submit them to even large sites. That's how, sites like Forbes, HuffPost, Business Inc., and any of the other ones, that's how they have so much SEO authority, is because they have people submitting remarkable content to them. And then that's also why they have so many articles on their sites too. So that could be another avenue, just outside of your local area. But I would focus probably locally first, because most newspapers that are local have a website just because they have to anymore to compete with the fact that everybody's a journalist now, or can be. But yeah. Andy, sorry, this kind of took a strange little turn. Switching back to like your question, I showed you how to set up that lead manager form, the page. What you can do to is, if you were linking to a Facebook or Twitter, is you just go to wherever your profile is, grab that link, and you use that link instead of the link to the page that you created in your campaign. All right, great class, guys. Okay, excellent. And again, we'll have this recording up on YouTube, just because I know it's a lot to really kind of absorb at once. But yeah, the biggest strategy I would say, Steve, for you, since you're being new, is write an article, maybe submit. I wouldn't necessarily submit the same article to a bunch of different sources. The reason why is search engines like unique content. The content we provide on our sites is just to kind of get you started. We highly encourage you go in there and kind of put your own spin on it, create some of your own custom pages, and our support team can help you with that if you have any questions. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our YouTube link is youtube.com/pipelineroi.com. So, which then resolves to this. But if you want the pretty link, just YouTube. There you go. Just because that other one's huge, crazy, and hard to remember. But yeah, I would probably start with this 5 truths about online marketing, because it does kind of touch on a couple of different topics in the area. And then I was talking with my manager earlier today, and I think we're going to wind up breaking out each of those points kind of and elaborating on them even further than I did last week. So yeah, and the cool thing is soon we're going to be kind of mixing it up so you guys don't get me every week or every day. That way you can get some other perspectives on some of this as well. I know we've got a really great team that come from a lot of different backgrounds that have some really great knowledge to share with this and new ideas. So I'm really excited about that. All right, well, you guys have a great week. We'll be back on Thursday at 11 Central Time. The link will be on our training page, the one you guys use to access this class. And yeah, it'll be in your local time if you're viewing it there. So have a great day, guys.